Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Past the halfway mark now, similar to Wednesday's Hump Days, Hump LCO. That's what we want here. Now, Chiefs and Mammoth coming up very shortly. We love Chiefs, we love Mammoths, and we love seeing them go head-to-head, which I don't believe we've got to see yet, because last time there was some unfortunate circumstances. Now, we won't hang on that too much. You know, we got to get into the brass meat, you know, the brass tacks, the meat, the middle, the breast. You know, like chicken breast. Very good chicken breast. Love chicken breast like I did yesterday. I ate Nectar's chicken. Now, great storylines here. Were you guys here for that, by the way? Did you see me eat Nectar's chook?
I love this intro. Continue, Mac.
I'm a vegan, so I turned that off at that section.
Oh, well, look, I'm very sorry. Look, at least you'll know I do use pea protein. So I got, you know, hopefully I can get you in the good books on that. But look, before we get into it, we did manage to get the Chiefs into the studio with producer Phil to have a quick chinwag. And I want you to take note of this, because I shook Dragku's hand and he broke my hand. So just look how happy he is with himself in this video.
If I were to give 3 words to describe my team, probably be brash, awkward, and 200 IQ. My name is Tristan Fulcher. My IGN is Lived. I play for the Chiefs and I am the top laner. I think our biggest strengths is we're all very mechanically talented. I think we are the most mechanically talented team in the league. We're all quite young still, so we still have a lot of work to do on the macro. But I think if we can get that down, then I think we'll probably come out with the wins.
My name is Dragon Gore and I go by the IGN Draku. Well, our major strength compared to other teams is that our jungler is really insane and the game pretty much revolves around him.
I'm Ryan Gibbons. I play jungle for the Chiefs. Like, the reason that the Chiefs are so jungle centric, I think, is because like I'm the main like leading voice in the team. Like, I try to like guide everyone like towards like what we should be doing on the map. It's just, yeah, we find we have the most success when we listen to me and let me guide the flow of the game. We really punish jungle very hard. Like, and that's not just like my position, that's as a team. Like, we're a team that will invade, take the enemy junglers' camps and just make them completely worthless. And that's not really a style you see other teams really do. But we're a team that like has an unorthodox role targeting where we play to get our jungle strong and the enemy jungle weak.
I'd say we've got 2 separate playstyles actually. We've got like the very fast-paced, like murder your entire team early game and just take all of your jungle camps. And then we've got like slow-paced, very, very slow-paced, like methodically plan out everything, take the dragons, 40-minute games, Elder Dragon, Baron, just end the game slowly like that.
Laning with Mboma, I think it has been quite smooth, but we are 2 very opposite people. I really like to be aggressive, while Mboma likes to farm and scale.
At the beginning, it was a bit rough, I'm gonna be honest. I entered quite a lot, but over the preseason, I think I have adapted quite well. I think I'm probably one of the top 3 top laners in the region, so I'd say I've adapted quite well. I would love to play some Zed top lane actually. I was a Zed one-trick a few years back and I recently role swapped from mid, so who knows, maybe a Zed top lane game will come out. That'd be pretty fun, I think.
I want to take down Pentagon. Like, I think the players are really arrogant and cocky and like quite needlessly so for their skill levels, and I think it would be good for every other team in the league to like see them take them down a peg.
Because eventually I think they will grow into really good players. Maybe by the end of this split in playoffs, or maybe split 2 even, I think we will be one of the top teams.
I think there's a lot more that we can show you than like what we've already done. Obviously, we've lost to all the other top teams, but I think there's a lot more the Chiefs have in store, and like we definitely can look to be one of the top teams.
Bastard Dragku. Look, he was trying to put that face on where he felt bad that he broke my hand, but look, you could tell, you could see right through it. He's fake a lot of the time. But it was good to hear that him and Mboma, you know, have completely different play styles and they've had to adapt to that throughout the split. So, look, nice little insight there, and I really do hope we get a bit of Zed top lane. What are your thoughts on that one, Jubes?
If they pick Zed top, they'll probably lose very quickly. Not because it's lived, but because the champion itself does not function quite well in the top lane. But something that they can do is pick some niche champions in the jungle with Swaith, maybe in the mid lane too with Kisei. And Bomo and Draco, interesting that they didn't merge well together. But Mbomo plays a lot like Kalista a bunch, and then Draco says he's not aggressive, so maybe they just need to figure out what works for them and what doesn't. And you know, we do talk about Chiefs pick ban being sometimes to their demise, and then this is probably a lot about what they talk about in that video, just understanding each other a little bit better. Mechanics are there, everything's there, they just need to understand each other more. And maybe this will be the start of something good, or something new rather, for the side of Chiefs. And coming off a win against Gravitas, it wasn't all rainbows and sunflowers and what are all the pretty things people talk about, roses. So a few hiccups here and there, but they got the result, and excited to see what they do this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's no denying that, you know, when they come together, they look so beautiful in the team fights. I mean, this clip here was one of those biggest examples, I suppose, right? Liv starts things off, Draco goes in there and locks them all in place, and, you know, we've definitely seen them in moments pop off and shine. I think consistency seems to be the big question mark around this team, and trying to figure out, okay, going into Split 2, what does it look like? Because, yeah, playoffs is guaranteed. It's now a case of how far do you actually go in that playoffs?
It's a good question. And unfortunately, one team that cannot make playoffs any longer, but they can do a good job to close out the groups, is Mammoth. And they are going to be here on the Rift, on the opposing side today. And I really hope we get something crazy, something questionable that we all get to enjoy and that entertains us. And Juice, can you please tell me what Way is going to pick today?
I think he might opt in for Yone Yasuo. Yone.
Okay.
I think they live in Yone and then he goes
Alright.
Yone. I'll be honest, I don't really know. But look, do you want me to be brutally honest?
Oh, I love some brutality.
I think that Mammoth are possibly the team that showed us the slowest growth as a team, in terms of like improving as a team, improving fundamentals and how they play the game. So I think because playoffs isn't locked for them, right? Like, I mean, sorry, isn't locked. They have no chance of making playoffs rather. I do just want to see like improvement across the board, and evidently like, oh, okay, their team fight's a lot better this week, or their laning phase is a lot better, because I think a lot of their time their laning phase has let them down, and they haven't been able to show us what they can really do just because of the deficit they find themselves in lane.
Yeah.
Well, they've got 2 games left to do so, to show us what they're made of, and we have Nat down on the side lanes as well, about to have a chat with 2 handsome individuals. Nat, who do you have for us for the pre-game today?
I've roped in Draco and Way to be talking to me. Thank you both so much for joining. Draco, I want to ask, you know, first of all, great new shirt. I feel like you're going to get mad at me unless I mention it. But you're finally getting to play against some of your friends, you know, including Shinky. So what's the mood coming into this matchup?
I'm quite happy. I want to see Shinky's improvement and see how he does against me in lane. I really wanted to first him last time, but obviously one of them didn't have their TR patched. But it's all good. I think today will be pretty cool. And Wei has been outlaning most people in the mid lane, so.
Well, it looks like it's going to be an interesting matchup, even just for yourself, Draco. But Wei, you know, you guys can't make it to playoffs now. You've unfortunately missed out on that chance. But what are the goals for Mammoth then coming into this game and your next one?
I think we want to just give it our all, basically. Like, we want to take every game as serious as possible, even though we can't like really make it anywhere. It's still just like a good learning experience for like everyone. And yeah, I just think it'll be beneficial if we just try our hardest.
You say that you want to take it seriously. Does that mean, because we've already seen a few crazy picks from you guys before, does that mean we're not going to be seeing crazy picks, or you're kind of just going to keep it to what we've seen for the split so far?
So obviously, I mean, the only reason why I was picking like crazy stuff is because I just kind of wanted to cheese a win somehow. Like I was like, and I'm still gonna like pick these like cheesy champs because I just like enjoy playing it, and sometimes people just don't expect it, right? So I also think I'm just tired of people just perma banning Zoe. So maybe we'll give them like a reason to like ban like Nocturne and Lilia or something, so I can actually play Zoe, which would be nice.
Well, hopefully, you know, it could pay off for you. The last question I do want to ask Draco is, what is this win going to mean for you guys? Because the seeding is nowhere near secure yet, so...
I guess we we just want to win and then have momentum versus Direwolves, because Direwolves is obviously a pretty good team now that they've found the stride. And if we beat Direwolves, then I think we'll be very confident going into playoffs next week or whenever playoffs is. But yeah, I think this is like every match is important, so we'll take it game by game.
Amazing. Thank you both so much for joining me, and good luck in the game today.
Thank you.
There you have it. Nice little interview with a good bit of insight, and I'm so happy to hear that Wei is going to be picking some more cheese champs for the next 2 days. So that brings us one step closer to predictions. So has anyone joined me on a Mammoth journey into match 3 of the day?
Unfortunately not, Mac.
All shields. All right, tell me why.
That's a Mammoth prediction from you, I'll tell you that much, in more ways than one, if you know what I mean. I think Chiefs are just over the split have proved themselves to be a little bit too strong for the side of Mammoth. Mammoth have showed us glimpses here and there of what they maybe can be, but Chiefs too consistent and probably too good across the board.
Look, I got given a chook, so my prediction has been swayed. That's all I'm going to say. And look, I'm even Stevens, 25-25. Not bloody bad. That's 50-50. You know, I'm always flipping coins for each of these predictions, and that's what we're up to now. Essentially, well, maybe after this game, it'll probably look a little bit worse. So, yeah, we'll go into the negatives. Jubes, what are your thoughts on potentially hitting that 50 bomb tomorrow? Friday.
If I hit the 50 bomb, then I might just retire and then probably build I'll probably build like a statue of me outside the LCO studio. Just absolutely conquered the circuit or whatever you want to call it. I don't know yet. I've got to negotiate with Mr. Witherby. My agent's talking to his agent, and they're meeting in the middle somewhere.
So, we don't call you the face of Oath for no reason, mate. You know, I've already given you that placard before, so they're gonna solidify that with the trophy, with the statue, with the welcome to Australia. Here's Jubes.
Yeah, it's a sight to see. Tell you that much.
Well, look, if you haven't had enough of his face and you do want to see more of the face of Oath, he's bringing your champ select now with Skimmy. Boys, take us into match 3 of the day.
Well, Juice, here we go. Let's figure out what the story is coming into this one, as it is the battle for 4th and 5th right now, with the other teams having guaranteed themselves in that top 3 finish. It's the battle of the lower bracket and for side selection, probably more than anything right now, between blue and reds. As for Mammoth, you know, I guess the narrative continues in their favor of, look, can they cause an upset? Can they draw something a little bit crazy? Or is it all about refinement? Because week on week, game on game, from what we've seen from them, it's just different ideas, be it global comps or be it, you know, split push or be it all-in team fights, early, late, whatever it may be. It looks like they're still looking to try and translate some of that solo queue experience that got them to this position, but then bring it together as 5.
Yeah, to be honest, we've seen so much and so much diversity. It's even just too hard to predict what their actual identity is, right?
Yeah.
Like, even records for both teams, it's like half of what Chiefs have done, as an example, have worked for them, and then the other half hasn't. So it's like, what are the identities of both of these teams? You know, like Kisei, I thought maybe was going to be a control mage player. Turns out he plays whatever he feels like on the given day in the mid lane, depending on matchups. Swaith has turned into a player who just locks in those kind of like carry-esque type junglers, and Evelyn being banned away is a testament to like what they don't want to play against. So I think both these teams are maybe the hardest to pick ban against in terms of what's available to them and what they'll be playing. And then, you know, Mboma locks in Heimerdinger. So what draft do they opt in for?
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, I think you hit the nail on the head. They can pretty much play anything. We've even seen the fact that Lily is locked in. That is, you know, generally speaking, a jungle pick, but we've seen that Wei yesterday played that in the mid lane and actually found not too bad success in that situation as well. So a team that's full of ideas and full of creativity. You mentioned, would it be the Yone or the Yasuo? Well, it's a situation where it's going to be the Chiefs that take it for themselves.
Yeah. But that's why I think they banned the Nocturne, because I think they realized, you know, that was something that they wanted to take. And if you look at what Kisei has done into Yone before, it's probably something you don't want to have to give the Nocturne over for.
Navarelle seems to be a popular champion in the side of the Chiefs camp right now. It's Drake who's most played, and for good reason too. It allows him just to do so much. We saw from the highlight reel beforehand that if he finds those flanking angles, he can be quite devastating on that champion come mid to late game. And those team fights as a result. It continues to be this trend though between the engaging supports. You go for the rail, we'll go for the Alistair. And, you know, it's not a possibility that goes out of contention, right? You know, we have seen multiple times where Mboma will say, well, maybe I'll just go the safe champion of a Heimerdinger or an Ezreal. You know, you lead me to a 1v2 and Draco just goes off roaming to find kills.
Yeah, but it's not something that Chiefs have done from the start, right? This is something we're seeing Draku pick up more and more as the weeks go on. They've opted in for like Karma before, or not Karma, but they've opted in for like Enchanters bot lane, Soraka, you know, the Senna fasting, and it hasn't worked for them. Whereas like I think this is where they feel the most comfortable and where they look their best when Draku's on these types of champions. Whether he takes the Alistar or the Rel, but you're definitely right. He finds those windows, finds those flanks, and is able to just win team fights on his own.
It'll be interesting to see where this direction now goes with the banning phase as Karma gets denied from one end and the Chiefs then decide no Ari for you, Wei. And we know that he's another player that's shown great promise coming into the season, having a pretty impressive season, no doubt, in the OCS Challenger Circuit of 2020 to make himself sort of the standout player on this roster. He's played so many unique champions right now. The only champion he's played twice has been Zoe. Apart from that, everything has been unique from him. So a bit of focus now in the second rotation going towards him.
Yeah, Silas banned away just because of the matchup it has into Gnar. Like, you match equal scaling, but then the Silas doesn't need to be mega to take Gnar ultimate, right? So you just get like this really AP version of Gnar that always has the ultimate. And Alistar ultimate as well can take away. So they just don't want to give away these tools to Liv because he's going to be able to steal so many good ults. And I think it's a Graves mid lane. Or Lilia.
I mean, it could just be running them back again, yeah. You know, Wei found success on it beforehand. Might just be looking to try and plant the Lilia mid. Hey, if it's Graves mid, then you know, even more carnage and excitement for the viewers at home. But this is, as you quite rightly point at the start of this draft, the sort of curveballs this team will throw you and make it very, very difficult to draft into.
I know LS, like last season, was a very big fan of Graves mid or Graves in solo lane, just because you'd go like lifesteal build, electrocute, and you just build grit up. You couldn't play like 18 mid lane matchups into it because you'd build grit up on the minion wave and then like have just armor and bonus resistances. Since then, I think it's changed a little bit, but I did have a few solo queue endeavors where there was Graves on my team mid lane and there was Lilia, so just a double flex really, double flex of junglers. Can't say I'm too seasoned on the Lilia mid, Graves mid matchups, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Something with a bit of spice though. If it was Graves going to the into the Yone, making those trades work maybe a little bit more in Mammoth's favor as a result. Chiefs going to complete their composition here. They've gone for the Kaiser and they're going to round things out here with the Sino. The second game here, actually sorry, the third game here for Liv, who's tended to stick to those bruises. Not too many times he gets to play the pop off carries. Final pick here for Mammoth. They've gone for the Xayah. They're going to round things out. Pretty standard bot lane, but it is going to be the mid lane where all the spice and excitement comes from here.
Chiefs, again, I just question what Chiefs do sometimes in draft. Like, their champions, when you look at their champions, you say, okay, like, they've won draft, like, in the sense that they have, like, S tier in almost every role, or, like, at least A tier. But it's an all AD composition with, like, hints of AP. Yeah. With AP popping up here and there, but if Mammoth ever get a lead and they get, like, their Tabis, I'm just going to call them Tabis because it's just habit, but it's been 10 seasons of habit.
No steel caps here.
No steel caps here. But then they run in a bit of trouble with armor stacking and they won't be able to get through the front line of Mammoth. Now, the saving grace is that Mammoth don't necessarily have a big front line. Like, Gnar's not just opting in for a full tank build. You know, it is the Lilia mid lane. The Alistar, sure, is going to have the Unbreakable Will, but you can just choose not to focus the Alistar. So it is dangerous territory for Chiefs, drafting all AD, but compositionally, they should be able to get away with it.
So is it one of those situations now, much like, you know, your solo queue moments, where there's a big emphasis on analyzing how the first 10, 15 minutes go for the Chiefs, quantifying what the gold lead, you know, should look like, if it's 2, 3, 4K, if that's enough to then say, maybe we can nullify a lot of this itemization?
Yeah, for sure. But when you press tab and you see that you're down a couple of kills, the Chiefs might start sweating. They, like I said to you, they have like really good champions in all of their positions, and Kai'Sa does have a little bit of hybrid damage. Like, yeah, Hecarim has some AP ratios as well, but it's not enough to get through what would be like, you know, the steel caps, or the steel plates rather, into maybe some armor items for the Hecarim early on, the Gnar. So it could be dangerous territory, and I think this is one of those games where Chiefs have just opted in for a draft that's all the best champions, but not necessarily thought about their damage spread. You know, and again, like, their saving grace would be the fact that they're up against the Graves jungle or a Lilia mid. Whereas, like, they opted in, if Mammoth opted in for something a little more beefy, a little more in the health department, where Graves could be someone that builds a dead man's play or something, or a chem tank, then game changer.
It'll be interesting to note then, with that burden of execution on the Chiefs to find themselves that snowballing lead, what that actually means for Mammoth, right? You know, they know that they'll have a situation where they could scale into this one quite nicely. They're not in the playoffs run right now, so maybe there's a weight off their shoulders. With those factors at bay, whether or not that's going to be enough of a difference maker here for them to cause the Chiefs to sweat a little bit and you know, make this race for those final 2 spots, at least in terms of seeding, become a little bit more order favor. We'll find out as we jump into the 3rd game of the night here. It is Wednesday, week 5 of the LCO, and I do believe we have another coach interview on standby as we welcome Jalal from Mammoth.
Hi.
First question for myself, really more than anything. First season, is this what you've expected? How have you been finding the first 5 weeks here?
Yeah, this draft is what we expected. Obviously, we're probably not the best team, but we're developing and we're learning, and going to split 2, I think we're pretty much set.
And on that note then, because we've seen such big variation as the games and weeks have gone by, has there been a particular identity that you've been working towards? Or has it been a case of, look, you know, first season, a lot of you, you know, it'd be a rookie season. Let's just translate those champions you've done so well on in solo queue, bring it to this one, and we'll just see what works for us.
It's sort of experimenting, see what we want to play, picking a style that suits us, and we feel like we've been developing this style. We're playing around a mid jungle a lot more, and that's where we want to go.
And then sort of takeaways going into Split 2, we've seen the gradual evolution of a lot of these teams as they've warmed up from week 1 to start off things here, coming into week 5 now. You know, when it comes to VOD reviewing and, you know, scrims and so on, has there been major highlights that you can look at and say, look, we've got a really good chance of causing upsets come Split 2?
Yeah, our scrims definitely have looked a lot better than at the start of the split, so yeah.
And then on a final note, more than anything, you know, given that we are coming to the close of this season, I mean, I would leave the floor to yourself. Is there anything you want to say to the fans at home watching and supporting you along this journey?
Yeah, we do have a few fans, and I want to say thank you to all of them. Really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate your time as well, and I wish you the best of luck in this game, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, Jibs, as that came to a close, I saw Shinky's life come to a close too.
It's the 2nd game in a row where I'm going to be harsh, okay? And not only to Mammoth, but to even Decoy, right, in the previous game. It's like, this matchup, and I'm going to hold that thought because Way's in trouble.
Oh, he actually still gets the dash off and manages to knock him back in towards mid lane. Situation we thought Way may have been safe there, but that's 2 kills very quick.
There's 2 things I want to digest. The first thing is, Alistar into Rel is like not a new concept, right? Like it's something that's been around for the whole split, and these bot lanes have probably played it hundreds of times in solo queue. They're very popular champions. However, they're still losing the lane level 1, the Alistar side. Like the only level you can lose this lane, you're losing it. And like a Decoy did it last game, right? And they talked about it in their interview. It's just something that's unacceptable. Like, and again, look, the lane itself, level 2, you start to win the trades. Like, it's not a hard concept to give up level 1, get level 2 safely, and then be able to play the lane out. But we talk about Mammoth starting at deficits, and this is just what they do to themselves. In what, you know, if you held a test about matchups and said, how does this matchup play out? They would get the answer right 10 out of 10 times. It's just when it comes to stage games, it's just maybe a little bit of nerves or whatever it is. But disappointing to say the least. Disappointing start.
And those are, you know, moments or actions that can be punished on. You know, 2 games from 2 now, where we've seen what it really equates to, especially in the first 10 minutes of laning phase, more than anything, allowing, you know, AD carries to find these leads. The gold has gone to Mboma. He's the one to find that first blood, and it's put them in such a commanding situation so early on, already up by 1,500 gold. The fact is, you know, we go from bot lane there, then the mid lane gank as well. You're thinking Swaif, we know he wants to be aggressive, we know where he wants to get the ball rolling. It looked like the situation had passed where he was going to get the gank off, but somehow still managed to, you know, take Way down.
Yeah, and it was a good gank, and we're seeing kind of the Yone into Lilia matchup again. Not an expert, but it doesn't sound like a good one for Lilia. You know, Yone has so much mobility, and especially at level 6, going to be able to opt in for the all-in at any time. And honestly, if you're playing Lilia to disengage with a Lilia ultimate, then you're probably not using the champion to the best of her ability. So we'll have to see how this lane plays out. He's done a pretty good job to stabilize. He's down 10 CS, sure, but did die very early on into the lane.
Has plenty of sustain between the Corrupting Potion as well as those two biscuits. So if Kisei continues to be the one in the driving seat, hitting the slingshot and guaranteeing trades in his favor, he'll be able to hold his own and not be too punished for the lack of the teleport. But as for current lane states, given the fact that Chiefs have had such a strong early start, they've been able to rotate all across the map, hit the scries, guarantee they know exactly where Graves is, get themselves onto the first dragon, which is an Inferno one, and guarantee that early starts translate into early leads.
Yeah, we guarantee the Cloud Soul.
Oh, bit of an all-in here. Maybe Way's literally just a Lilia connoisseur and shows up, hey, I can sustain and I can punish. Nice little pre-6 kill. And he's able to even out that mid lane odd.
I guess Lilia mid's broken. I mean, Yone's broken, so for sure Lilia's broken by that logic. I don't know what happened there. I mean, we don't know what happened there, but
we can only imagine, I'm sure we're going to replay, we can only
Like,
imagine that Kisei jumped in for that trade and got punished and went, hang on, maybe this is not what I'm after.
I'm running the numbers in my head because I can calculate different scenarios in different realms, and I've ran all the realms and I'm not sure how that one happens. I actually, no Lilia ultimate, nothing. Only thing I can think of is maybe a tower dive from Kisei. That's unbelievable to me.
It seemed questionable, pre-6 especially, right? The
Yeah.
fact that you're going to go for a trading like that when the lane state was so
Here we
good.
go.
We're going to get the replay here, so let's see exactly how this goes. So
Misses.
Kisei just out of turret range, he's actually just going to get run down.
The Q that he missed there has actually killed him because he doesn't get the third Q off on Yone, which is like that little dash. And this is pretty much Way Split summed up. Does pretty well in his lane. Sometimes gets the solo kill. Sometimes gets the lead, is the shining beacon of light for his team, then gets 3-manned on the way back to lane. I feel like that is just something that we're so used to seeing against Mammoth.
It just felt like a bit like a National Geographic documentary there. Just all the wildlife coming together and smiling for the camera. They got it done, for sure.
It was a stampede. It was a stampede. They just come on through mid lane, and Way's just that little Bambi, got Bambi legs, still trying to farm his items, get his farm levels up. And look, unironically, I didn't realize he was actually playing something that could be deemed a Bambi. That just happened. It just happened.
It's all the same.
I watched too much Nat Geo.
David
Love those
Attenborough
animal
cast a win.
documentaries.
Imagine
Yeah, I
that.
love those. Love those documentaries.
As for this documentary, though, it's all about Chiefs showcasing that, hey, we can punish if we get given opportunities to punish. And from what was a 1,500 gold start, is continuing to that tune. You're finding a huge lead now in the spot lane, especially with what Mboma is itemized towards. Going to make sure that they can keep Shy for it back behind this turret as much as possible. Going to be a bit of a hard turret dive for them to force between the Featherstorm and the Unbreakable Will. So might just continue to see this effort of them rotating through to mids and punishing elsewhere.
Yeah, and the Chiefs pretty much got CS leads in every lane, like mid lane being a big one. Jungle, they've got the EXP lead and the CS lead. So just across the board, some very good laning phase out of the Chiefs at the moment. They'll be quite happy, so gold leads across the board as well. No one on the side of Mammoth with a gold lead yet. However, that can change. One skirmish here, one skirmish there, turns into a significant gold swing. Maybe we'll see that around the Dragon spawn timer, and Mammoth's composition will fare very well around neutral objective fights, right, with the Lilia. Lilia is going to be the one that really does change the game. And
oh! He's put asleep. He hits the ultimate. That buffers, and maybe in a situation where you're thinking, hang on, that's not the ultimate angle you're looking for. You're now no longer protected by your mid-tier 1, but both will get off scot-free and avoid any jungle influence.
There's no way he's not trying to dive this.
Graves is here.
Yeah.
So is Hecarim too. Both have their ultimates. Jungleman definitely can hit the explosion. Just need one swing of the hammer, and they'll get him in lethal range. Both junglers know what's happening though, and as Jungleman reveals, he's forced to disengage away. The ultimate connects, he flashes out of it, he's been smited, he's been slowed down, he's in so much trouble, and Bowman connects, the bot lane rotate up, and Chiefs find a double.
It's a little cheeky little double there, Draku setting that one up once again. Feels like if he gets his hands on this Rel, he's just too impactful, and yeah, it was Swaith and Kisei go in there, but without Draku, I don't think they're able to pick up those kills, so really good river control off a reset from Draku, linking up with his jungler and being able to influence that one. And Kisei had a big CS lead before, and he's got a turret play as well as more of a CS lead now, so dangerous, dangerous times.
Well, it is, because they're now going to go for the Herald as a result. And you can see that the river is all blue right now, fitting for their colors as the Chiefs. They control the bottom half of the river to force those rotations, and then they can just guarantee that Herald works in their favor too. It's been quite quiet up in the top sides. Nothing too out of the ordinary, as it's the Battle of the Bruisers, both just looking to stack up and get themselves those first item breakpoints.
Yeah, I mean, top lane not really going to influence this game too much unless we see some significant, you know, Nah gameplay. Maybe a 4-5-man wombo combo, but Draku might be caught here. Nah, can hop away on the horsey, or off the horsey.
Was hovering there, looking for a hex slash angle. But Mammoth sniffed that one out. Now looking for a situation
Lilia
where they can
ults up.
punish. Lilia ult is there, as you say. Just trying to find their moment to shine. Two fights taking place at once. Lilia just dies in a heartbeat. No ult, no flash, no nothing. And Swaith laughs in the face of danger.
Yeah, it looks like Shinky was on Skype and the rest of his team was on Discord, different platforms. Communication didn't get across there. Shinky flashed onto Hecarim, and Wei was just dancing with the tigers of the Chiefs. I feel like we've gone full animal route. I mean, there's two horses on the rift. There's a Bambi in the mid lane. There's a cow in the bot lane.
We're basically writing a brand new Disney bestseller.
No, we are.
We really are. We're making it happen. You know, Marvel, maybe. There's a potential world there where Chiefs can bring that to the forefront. But as it stands, no Cloud Dragon. It is all about the mountains here tonight. And it's the Chiefs finding these leads and continuing it. And basically putting the game on a timer right now. You know, you're looking at a very early soul point to take.
Yeah, I mean, Chiefs do this very well, right? Once they get a lead, they play around the bot lane. Like, Draku probably a big instigator of that. The fact that he's on the champion that can really pull the trigger. Might see an all-in here. Yone has ultimate. Doesn't want to get slept under tower.
He's holding it for as long as possible right now. Might just expire in a second. He might just get soloed out in the process. Oh no, Kisei! He hit the flash.
Yep.
Just somehow connects. So scuffed, but so
Why didn't
beautiful
see another
regardless. It happens, it works. Jungleman can only lock onto his mid lane and think you're 1 and 5. It's all gone so terribly wrong here, Juves.
Yeah. So, the one thing I didn't... Oh, hang on. Graves burnt dash and... just goes down. Like clockwork. And Yone's getting some turret plates as well. Swaith is going to drop the Herald. First turret won't go down, unfortunately. Maybe the Herald was dropped one wave too early. But all the plates will fall. And that's probably the main thing. That turret will go down fairly soon. Maybe not on this wave, or it does go down in this wave. Kisei a little bit too fed.
An educational stream now. Learning wave manipulation and first turret advantages. 8-1 so far. The Chiefs been aggressive. They're finding the moments to shine, and it feels like a solo queue angle as he's getting very strong right now. But what happens if he gets put to sleep? They swing the swirly seeds. They're both down to 10%.
Oh.
He connects. There is no Leandres. He might just survive. Out of range. The flash pole combo. Is he going to connect? Oh, he does fall on down eventually. Shinky picks up the shutdown. He's got Unbreakable. Out comes Swaith, looking to showcase that he's the better wildlife. Bit of a wildlife gap here. Who can ride the safari better? And, well, 2 for 1 so far. That's the gold league working in Chiefs' favour. They'll find a third, because why not? TP's committed as a result here from Nectar. Looking for the shove, but Mboma flashes out so beautifully. Mammoth really forcing their hand, but Chiefs just out playing.
Yeah, and that's what we expect from the Chiefs, right? Being able to manipulate those 1v1 situations, those 2v2, those skirmishes. And they're taking the long route home. I mean, this is the scenic route, Twitch tours, if you know what I mean. Oh, cheeky emote as well, and it's a pig. Okay, we've done the full wildlife route.
We have. The double pig.
Yeah. But, nah, that was just a really good outplay there from the Chiefs. You know, maybe Kisei unnecessarily going down there, losing his bounty. But the bounty did go over towards Shinky, so probably not too upset about that one. And 6,000 gold lead at 13 minutes. Draku, yeah, is still here.
What is happening right now, Juice? People are just being caught like you would not believe it. Out goes the Featherstorm. He flashes away. The recall's already been used, so it doesn't actually matter. It wasn't a turnaround angle. It was a pure disengaged moment. Shinky now stacking up the passive. He can hit the stun, and Swaith may be in trouble right now. He's got a flawless KDA. He doesn't have Ghost. He's got a bounty. He may just run back to bot lane and survive. They're going to switch their aggro on towards Kisei, who's come down to the bot lane. He's going to try and hit one of those game-changing ultimates. Can he get the wind up? Somehow Swaith gets the first kill. It's a shutdown that goes across to Shy for it. The bot lane action descending into pure madness. He flashes across the wall. Somehow Jungleman survives. And now they're literally just finding kills wherever they can. Way on the retreat, 1 and 6. Not a fight for him to play around with. He's just going to try and kite and do what Lily does best.
The Chiefs do feel like they're playing with their food a little bit here. Hey, they had so much gold, could have opted in for the reset. They decided to try and KDA, pad the KDA stats. And yeah, it was a few kills traded, but 7,000 gold lead at 15 minutes, Skimmy. Definitely an uphill battle for Mammoth. You know, this Lilia mid, I was optimistic when I saw the solo kill, but 1 and 6, it's not convincing me just yet. And this all starts here. It's a 2-minute long play, maybe even longer. Starts here. Kisei thinks he can outplay it, gets hit with the slow there, the bowling ball down the alleyway. Shinky picks up the kill. So all of a sudden you think, yeah, okay, Mammoth they're in for a chance. But what you don't see is Swaith coming in on the back end here. Still has the ultimate. Takes down multiple members on the back end, and Scheifried's there just a little bit too late. Obviously not his fault. He's just listening to the calls and participating when he can. Shinky just gets one shot. Heal misses. Teleport comes in. You think, okay, maybe they can turn it, but outplayed again in the 1v1 situation there. Oh.
And it just continues from replay to live. We're fighting again. There's another shutdown. Scheifried just found 2, so starting to really scale up. Here's Zarya. The red buff has been taken. As he gets the shutdown, he gets shut down. He'll fall on down. There's the ultimate from Swaith, targeting 2. But Liv doesn't have a care in the world. He's not going to commit that TP into the last minute required. His teammate just win the fight before he's required. He's got the ultimate, and Mammoth split 3 different directions. There's no mid-tier 1. Yeah. And Chiefs can literally just run you down. Swaith is playing with his food, brings in 1, provides a second. There's the knock-up, doesn't connect, away on the sidelines, doing whatever he can. It's not an interview, it's not a report. It is a Bambi left to the Wolves.
Yeah, and the Wolves have eaten, Skimmy. No vegetarian diet here. They've tromped on that Bambi, and he's 1 and 7, 99 CS, having a very rough go of it. And the Chiefs, like clockwork, have just from 7k, it's almost 10,000 now at 16 minutes, and the gold lead's almost growing quicker than game time. And that's when you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's a situation where you're struggling to find an out right now because the team fights aren't going your way. Sure, you can talk about Safari, shutdown goal going away. It has been a bit of a Safari because we're just going all over the show. It's a clean segue. There's a kill to take place there. No matter, no drama, no worries. 5 and 1 on the jungler. But I mean, this is really what I want to get at, is the fact that Soul Point is there for the taking. It's going to be an early one at 20 minutes into this, and you're talking about an all AD composition needing to get a snowballing lead. This is your snowballing lead.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that it's probably easy to lose track of the fact that Wei picked up a solo kill in his lane, and this is the game state. Usually when your mid lane picks up a solo kill, there's something to play around. You have a strong point of the map, and you can really make a game of it. However, the Chiefs, after the solo kill, just 3-4-man mid lane and just flipped the script and said, you're no longer ahead, Wei, you're actually significantly behind. So this is the current game state. I mean, you start to wonder, what do Mammoth do to get back into this game? And potentially this is it, one of those things. Opt in for the Rift Herald? No, decided not to. And they have to just opt in for like a 5v3. Somehow, somewhere, Chiefs have to be sleeping on the job. They've got to go catch a side lane where Yone isn't and Hecarim isn't. And potentially they win that 5v3. But, you know, at the moment, yeah, this might be it. Kisei is a little bit extended.
This could be the fight they're looking
overextended.
for. As you say, 1v3 right now. He does have flash, but he doesn't have the ultimate just yet. Going to juke out of the pole combo as Shinky's already popped that ultimate. He's just buying so much time. They can't 1v3 him, Juice. He's got 5 levels on the Alistair. He's looking to make himself a montage. He's bought enough time for his team to rotate up here. Draku with a 3-man Magnet Storm. That allows Mboma to do everything and more. He'll find one. There's a double. The ultimate to disengage away. Well, here comes Swaith saying hello. Gets locked underneath the turret. And a 3rd shutdown in the hands of Scheifried.
Look, if you're a Mammoth fan, you don't mind that. At that point, your Lilia is not worth much gold. And then another member falls down and it's only Shinky. And you get the shutdown onto your Zarya. So maybe, and please understand I'm talking with optimism, maybe worth it. Maybe.
Well, let's play that conversation. Let's play that conversation for 2 seconds, right? Because you're looking at, you know, how do Mammoth realistically claw themselves back into this one? Are we looking at a 50-50 on the Dragon, buying themselves another 5 minutes? Is it crazy Baron steal? Is it more collapses like we saw there on Kisei top?
Look, excuse me, it's 11k at 19 minutes, okay? So the way you come back into the game is, in all honesty, you give away Soul, and your win con becomes stealing the Elder Drake, as well as maybe stealing the Baron. But even with Elder Drake, I think Chiefs can win the fight at this point. And we're still a ways away from that. Like, how much are you going to lose before that? So, yeah, I mean, we just got to take it as it comes, see what Mammoth can find in a side lane, and this isn't it. Yep, that's not it. 5k gold lead in the mid lane if you just wanted to run the numbers real quick.
He's got double the money. It's hard pill to swallow. He's only now just hit that first Mythic item with the Leandries, and you know what? I was impressed by it. The mid lane tech from Wei in the game yesterday, it hasn't found its moment to pop off here today, unfortunately. And 20 minutes in with a composition needs to snowball. Chiefs have found that. They're opening up all these map lanes to their advantage, and you know, you tried to hit the 1v3 collapse, you can't take him down. Mammoth are forced to group. They're going to bleed more gold as a result of this one. They're going to have to force themselves into another teamfight situation as a result. The Pivot Storm goes on out. That cancels out what Swave was trying to do as a result. Shinky going to fall on down. Kisei finds his 7th of the game. He is unstoppable at this point. All waves point to Chiefs. We're going to try and win this one.
Oh, the sleep onto Mboma. This might be the fight.
Certainly looks to be the case. And Kisei finds another. Mammoth doing whatever they can to try and defend this mid-tier 2. Liv taking up the turret, buying so much time for his team to smurf and continue to find team fight success. They sub members in and out like a wrestling match. Tag team duo doing what they do best. Kisei diving between multiple turrets. He doesn't care. He's now godlike.
Yep. And, you know, while Wei runs away and potentially falls down here, this is the statement game that we were looking for from the Chiefs, right? When we talk about them versing a team that is no longer in contention for playoffs. You know, they only have one win for the split. Let's call it what it is. Chiefs really needed to have a performance like this, and I think this would do their confidence wonders coming into the Direwolves match that they talk about. And, like, there's no bigger statement than this, right? This is a one-sided affair. A one-sided affair is what I would say.
It almost looks to be like the easiest game Liv has ever played. With 25 kills, he's only got 4 assists to his name. He's been, for the most part, just playing the map, letting his team hit those 4v5 switches and saying, you've got yourself enough of a lead. You know, have at it.
I mean, there's not much you can do in this Sion into Nar matchup. You can't really win it. And, you know, here you think, okay, maybe Draku's being a little bit too aggressive. However, even under tower, even with a 6th man in this skirmish, they aren't able to take anyone down. And it's just, watch Nectar here. You think maybe there's a chance. Mboma gets slept, has to use this flash to disengage. Good flash, but he can't even get the Mega Gnar out here. He's a millimeter away from Mega Gnar and maybe a big wombo combo team fight, but Chiefs just shut that one down completely. Turret diving with no care in the world. Mboma is even the one tanking tower, and you have to feel for Shyfrit here because he falls down as well behind another tower. It's just towers don't matter at this point.
They're just that far accelerated, as you say. You know, structures, they're a bit of a distant afterthought right now. Take a quick stock check of some of these items. Probably the best situation Yone has ever found himself in when you're looking at all the Infinity Edges coming on through to find his mark. As we're surely set for another little skirmish, a little rumble in the jungle, this time by the enemy red buff. That's going to be Draku locking in place too. They've taken down Jungleman 29. He falls on down for the 29th time. As Liv hits the headbutt, pushes him into his team, and they'll find a 3rd quick kill in succession.
Yeah, and can they end the game here? I don't even know if they can. Maybe death time is a little bit too short. They are tanking for the minion wave though, so they have considered it. This is their consideration. They are trying to end the game. First inhibitor will go down, 13 seconds on the Graves. Wei's trying to clear the minion wave with the Lilia bowling ball, so... Oh, he hits the Yone ult there.
That was so clean. The Yone ult to disable and prevent the bounce away. Cool mid animation. And that pretty much summarizes the Chiefs' performance here today.
Yep.
Clean on their execution, a statement game that they so needed coming into the playoff rounds. And they're going to look to end this game at the 24-minute mark.
That might be the biggest, and they're going to just try and KDA farm here a little bit, but this might be the biggest gold deficit that we've seen in the LCO this early into a game, I think. Fair to say, or not?
17k gold lead. I don't think we've seen a higher gold lead than that. We've seen pentakills, we've seen 17-0 KDAs. We've never seen a gold lead that big. GG's the Chief.
Yeah, GG. I mean, very well played from them. Good confidence booster going into the Direwolves game. Not much to say other than that, right? Expected the Chiefs win. Didn't expect this dominant, this much of a dominant performance. Yeah. So, not much to VOD review for them, just stuff to be happy about. You know, maybe the only thing, Kisei, don't get solo killed by a Lilia mid. I'm sure he's going to be embarrassed by that one.
Yeah, I'm sure Mac will be looking at that one and thinking, where did it all go so horribly wrong? You look at that situation, you're thinking maybe a few micro punishments with the Alistair, you know, burning flash level 1, with, you know, the Lilia not being able to really justify the 1 level, or sorry, the solo kill. Where do you come back from there, Mac?
I don't know if there's much coming back from that for Mammoth, but look, what I want to say, you mentioned it, of course this is a confidence booster for Chiefs, but this is the Chiefs we've been expecting for bloody weeks, and we finally got to see them play as a team. So it's good signs leading up to playoffs, Juice.
100%, and they are a very, when you have a young team, when you got players like Kisei, you got players like Swaith, and Swaith, you know, he's been around, but, you know, it's his first split back. They're just confidence players. So this game, although, yeah, it may look from you know, the neutral's perspective like an easy one, it's something that I think does more than just put the win on the board. It does more for them in the sense that they know they're going to be in playoffs. They don't know where yet in terms of seeding, but when you have young mechanics players, the best thing that they can have is a stomp like this.
There's been a few times when the games have just gotten so damn close for Chiefs when on paper you know they should be doing such better jobs. So bit of a statement finally ending it so well. You know, I thought it was going to be that, you know, 18, 19 minute game, but then it sort of dragged out a little bit longer even though there was such a lead. So not sure if Chiefs just wanted to make sure nothing went wrong, make sure they made no extra mistakes, and just continued to destroy it with that gold lead, you know. Maybe even just practice a couple of team fights there as well before ending the game. However, you know, all things considered, Chiefs doing a spectacular job to get to this position. It was almost 20k gold lead in the end, which is completely ridiculous. I don't know when I last saw that in a game of League of Legends.
Yeah, let alone competitive, right? I mean, that just seems, above all, crazy for me. So that's one of those. Sure, it feels good. You're having fun. You know, I'm sure all the members of Chiefs are, you know, laughing and saying, you know, this is so fun. But that's a demoralizing defeat for Mammoth, no doubt.
And 100%, Draku's on the comms to Kisei right now saying, hey bro, yeah, you were legendary, but you did get solo killed. And just keep that one in mind, because Kisei, let me tell you something, Kisei can talk. Kisei loves the chat, loves a bit of banter, but this one he's going to be hearing for until Friday, I'll tell you that much. And then come Friday, they got a big game, so they'll ease up. But
the one mistake, if any, that was made by Chiefs today. Now, let's see if Nat has that man that's made the mistake. Who do you have down there with you, Nat?
I actually have Mboma joining me. You know, I thought he did a pretty significant job down there on the bottom lane. Mboma, congratulations on that win. How's the atmosphere in the team now? Where's the confidence levels at?
It's pretty good. I think last time we played against Mammoth, the game got cancelled, and we were a little bit down a little bit because the game got cancelled. Because when you do play teams that are like lower than you in the standings, it is like a confidence builder, right? So I think this game was pretty good for us as a team, and even though we were expecting to win, we had some objectives that we wanted to work on from yesterday. So for example, like, even though we were ahead versus Grav, we were completely like blundering our Barons and stuff. So we tried to make sure that we closed the game out really cleanly today compared to yesterday.
I think another difference to your game yesterday was this one felt very action-packed, a lot of movement, a lot of kills on the board for you guys. Is that part of what you've been working on, and who was the key communicator for that?
I think it's a bit of everyone. I actually think our scrims are usually quite a lot like this. Just sometimes stage games, people have a tendency to play more risk-averse, or like, even as Draku mentioned, sometimes it's just like nerves and stuff like that. So I think today everyone was just pretty relaxed, and I think we just got to play the game the way we like to play it, and just lots of fights and ending quickly. So that was really good.
Walk me through a little bit more about the game from your point of view.
I think that game, we honestly got a pretty Exodia draft, which was nice. I think sometimes we get a bit too creative in drafts sometimes, and in our drafts, so we got a really nice draft. And then I think we had just a very clear game plan, and we were pretty confident that we were just better individually, right? So we just tried to play the game like with the natural flow of things, and we were mostly focused on our team play. I think Chiefs were pretty good players, but our team play is probably lacking at times. So it's something we've been working on like really extensively in, you know, scrims and even in the stage games, because I think the games first teams were favored to win are like good. They're like good practice games for when we play teams that we've maybe lost to, like Direwolves on Friday.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is really great to hear that you guys have been putting into play everything you've been practicing, and congratulations again on that win. I'll let you go for now in preparation for your game on Friday.
Yeah, I just want to say to Juves, you're 100% right. Like, Draku was nagging Kisei a little bit for getting solo killed, even though you finished the game legendary. So, yeah, you do know our team pretty well.
Well, thank you. I'm sure Juves will have a lot to say when we head back over there.
See ya.
The prophet has spoken once more.
I'm the not only am I the League of Legends analyst, turns out I'm the personality analyst as well. I delve deep into the minds of these players, and I'm like a puppeteer, just like Draku mind controlling him to tease Kisei for it.
Well, look, I'll let you go and practice your puppeteering. Let's see how well you know the players in our next matchup. It's going to be Order and Legacy, final match of our hump day, our Wednesday, to finish things off here. And we'll see you just after this break.
No, and as Jungleman reveals, he's forced to disengage away. The ultimate connects, he flashes out of it. He's been smited, he's been slowed down. He's in so much trouble, and Boma connects, the bot lane rotate up, and Chiefs find a double.
Doesn't want to get slept on the tower.
He's holding it for as long as possible right now. Might just expire in a second. He might just get soloed out in the process. Oh no, Kisei, he hit the flash, just somehow connects. So scuffed. It's here to Liv taking up the turret, buying so much time for his team to smurf and continue to find team fight success. They sub members in and out like a wrestling match. Tag team duo doing what they do best. Kisei diving between multiple turrets. He doesn't care. He's now godlike.
Yep.
See, we're on the